Tesla, in my opinion, is still the best EV you can get in terms of the overall efficiency, the design, the software package, and their own charging network is very well integrated.
Daniel Mathieson was excited when he bought his Model 3 Tesla 2 years ago.
Best car I've ever owned.
But since then, it's been a bumpy ride.
I've had it a few times on open roads with no other traffic, where driving along a straight road and it will sort of jolt the brakes sharply and maybe drop 10-15 k's an hour.
He's not alone, with Tesla drivers around the world reporting what's known as phantom braking, when the car suddenly decelerates for no apparent reason.
First time it happens, obviously you're pretty surprised because you're not expecting it, and the car will just, brake pretty suddenly. If there's someone behind you, they're not too happy most of the time. They'll beep the horn or, stick the finger up or something like that, and sort of you put the hand up and say sorry, but it's kind of like, I'm saying sorry for what? The car decides to throw the brakes on and maybe it's wet and someone's a bit too close behind. My main concern is being hit.
At other times, Daniel says, the car suddenly speeds up.
The car would decide when you're using cruise control to set the speed, or the set speed to 110 in a 60 zone, and it would start to accelerate. A bit unnerving. Obviously, it doesn't just take off quickly, but it's concerning when it does do that without any driver command or driver input.
Tesla is facing a class action in the federal court, brought by thousands of Australian drivers who've experienced problems with their Models 3 and Y built from 2021. Lawyers for the class action argued that phantom braking makes them unsafe. Tesla has now filed its defence in the federal court, strongly rejecting the allegations. The company denies claims of any phantom braking defect and any serious risk of injury or death. Tesla says the owner's manual makes clear that several factors can affect the performance of automatic emergency braking, causing either no braking or inappropriate or untimely braking, such as when a vehicle is partially in the path of travel or there's road debris. It's also subject to a variety of environmental conditions, including obstructions to the cameras, the weather, sharp curves in the road or nearby vehicles.
Tesla is very well known for relying almost entirely on cameras in their autonomous vehicles, whereas other companies have typically used range sensors as well, like LiDAR, which tell you explicitly how far away objects are around the car. One of the side effects of relying on cameras is the cameras can be very sensitive to things like shadows in the environment. And it's been reported, I guess anecdotally, that these shadows have caused some of these cars to brake when really there was no reason to brake.
At all times, Tesla says it's the driver's responsibility to drive safely and remain in control of the vehicle.
There's a big argument to be had about whether when your car slams on the brakes on the highway, whether you are capable as a human of responsibly taking over, not just that one time, but across thousands of times this happens across lots of vehicles.
As part of its defence, Tesla says its Models 3 and Y have received 5-star safety ratings by the Australian Ratings Program and CAP, and have a variety of safety features.
The first time ever.
Even as the case continues, the company has been on a media blitz, showing off its new self-driving technology to test drivers in Brisbane last month.
I am not driving this Tesla. I am on the roads here in... Oh, I've just cut off a bus.
Watch out, ducks!
Well, my hands aren't on the steering wheel, my feet aren't on the pedals.
It follows this clip shared on social media demonstrating the car's ability to navigate through busy streets. But when we asked the Victorian government about the test drive, it said, the Department of Transport and Planning has not approved any testing of fully autonomous vehicles in Melbourne CBD, and it'll continue to engage with Tesla. The Australian class action follows several lawsuits against Tesla over claims its autopilot system caused deadly crashes in the US. In late 2022, investigative journalists at German newspaper Handelsblatt were approached by an anonymous former Tesla employee who leaked 23,000 documents to them.
The call comes really out of the blue. It's a Friday morning, and I talk to this anonymous guy. He sends me one file, another file, and the third file is called the worst things we do to our customers. And then I open it and I find thousands and thousands of customer complaints about the autopilot.
Their reporting prompted grieving families to come forward.
The very worst were widows of Tesla customers who explained to us and detailed to us how their cars, their husbands on a straight road in daylight, hardly any traffic, the car crashed into a tree, and then the husbands burned to death. Tesla told them, well, in your case, there is no data, or there is no relevant data.
Tesla and its Australian lawyers did not respond to our request for comment. Daniel is not part of the class action, but says he's reported the problems to Tesla.
That's probably the most frustrating part, is just getting stonewalled, I think is the right word.
The class action is due to return to court later this month.
I'd just like them to say, yeah, sorry, sorry you're having this experience and we're looking at it. That would be a lot better than the answers I've got so far.
Now, if you've experienced serious issues or faults with your Tesla, you can share your story with us at 7.30@abc.net.au. I'm just going to read that again, 7.30@abc.net.au.